back to Ring Generals. I'm your host, Bruce Snyder, and today we're talking with a man who we're lucky is sitting here because he's known as Zero Gravity. So if you see me reach up to pull him down, it's because AJ Daniels is Zero Gravity. Thanks for showing up. Thanks for being here.
Thank y'all for having me, by the way. It's a long travel from outer space, but I made it.
All right, so tell me about the whole Zero Gravity thing, okay? What does that even mean?
Well,
for folks that we're going to assume that a lot of folks are seeing you and meeting you for the first time here.
Well, Zero Gravity to me just explains me in a whole. You know, I live out of this world, and not only do I live there, you know, I actually come back here sometimes to Earth, but to me it's more of a live and learn thing. You know, like I said, I've been Zero Gravity now for 8 years, so it's pretty much a part of my life.
What I took it is to mean that you're going to fly high. You're going to be all over the place.
Yeah, well, you can believe that coming from, you know, the first ever Rush Division champion. So, of course, you know, I fly high and keep it fast paced.
We're going to get into that in just a second. But as a high flyer, all right, how do you have to pace things differently than when you're fighting on the ground, when you're a ground and pounder, so to speak? Like, is it something you're very conscious about?
Not really. I mean, I've always been an athlete. You know, I mean, I've played 4 sports in high school. I played semi-pro football. I mean, like I said, I've been doing this for 8 years. So, I mean, like, just being an athlete in general keeps my endurance, stamina, and everything on point. So it's never really been a problem to me. So, I mean, not really.
You played 4 sports? Let me see if I can guess them, because we haven't talked about that.
Let's get it.
I'm going to guess football.
Got it.
Okay, and in football, I'm going to guess you were either a linebacker or a running back.
Both. I played both sides in high school. Now in semi-pro, I was a strong safety.
A strong safety, okay. You guess you probably played a little hoops?
Yep.
Probably small forward, power forward?
Small forward, you got it.
Okay.
You got it.
Obviously, you were a wrestler.
No, actually, I wrestled for my freshman year, but I played. I'm gonna let you continue.
Okay.
So wrestling, that's not one that I really.
Okay,
consider.
and the other one is obvious. You obviously played polo.
I was gonna say lacrosse, but polo.
No, you probably played some baseball.
Yes, sir.
I see you over in center field, maybe right field.
And shortstop.
Shortstop.
And also I pitched 93 miles per hour fastball.
Look at that. Look at that. What was the fourth one? What am I missing?
I ran track.
Oh, how could I forget that?
Yeah.
I ran track also. Yeah. What'd you run?
I threw the shot put, which I come 4th in the state in the shot put. I ran the 100, the 200, and I also did high jump.
You want to take a guess what I did in track?
Hurdles.
I'll give you a hint. I was much smaller in high school.
Hurdles.
200, 400.
What was your time in the 200?
It was terrible. It was terrible. You know how you get measured in time? Yeah. I get measured in a calendar. So basically,
the participation award.
Yeah, pretty much. You know, they say if you can't play it, you got to say it, and that's why I'm the one doing the talking now.
Well, you get it done. That's all that matters. You get it done.
You were the first Rush Division champion in OVW. And for folks that don't know what that means, Rush Division are the high flyers, the guys who are full of action.
Zero gravity.
Zero gravity.
Okay, there we go.
What was it like? You know, the folks that watch this, they're obviously smart to the business, okay? And even though we know what the business is, everyone I've interviewed still says when you win a championship, it's real. What was it like to win that championship? Take me through that, okay?
Well, it was unbelievable. I mean, I've only been here, at the time, I'd only been here for like 2.5 months.
Right.
And I didn't really think I had the opportunity, you know, and I didn't know until legit I was climbing the ladder and he was like, you got it. You know, so it's like.
It happens that fast.
Yeah, like it's. Like I say, like.
Did you at first say, I got what? I got measles, I got stuff stuck on me, or did you know what he was talking about?
Well, I was lost to be honest. I was lost because.
He meaning who? Who told you that? Was
KTD told me that.
KTD.
KTD told me that in the midst of it all, and like I said, it just blew my mind to the fact that out of everybody, I mean, it was a 6-man match inside of a steel cage where you had to climb the ladder and bring the belt down, secure it on the ground. So, you know, like for me, I've never won a ladder match in 8 years. I've never won a cage match. So for me to actually combine those two and do it all at the same time by being picked by the man himself, Al Snow, to do that, it's unbelievable.
I was actually calling that match. One of the matches I called. That was one of the specials that we had. So what I want to know is, because when you won, the place popped. So I'm going to go back to my original question. What did it feel like to you when you found out you were going to win, and then when you actually executed and got the victory? What did that feel like?
Unbelievable. I mean, it was a life goal. It was a lifetime achievement. You know, it's just not something that a lot of people can say. You know, there's only one first. So for me to be that one first, it was.
Was that your first championship?
In OVW.
In OVW.
And I was the first champion. That could never,
of the Rush division.
That could never be taken away.
Right.
No matter if I held it for 32 days, which I did, that could never be taken away from me.
Okay, so you know how a lot of times folks will kind of imagine what it's like. I've done it also. I've visualized big interviews and what it's like. I remember when I was covering the Super Bowl, I was like, okay, what's it going to be like when I'm actually there? And it blew away all my expectations. And I'll always have those memories with me.
Right.
Did winning the title, the Rush Division Championship, was it what you thought it would be? Was it less? Was it more?
It was what I expected and more. Because, I mean, like I said, I mean, it's no feeling that I can even portray to you that would be similar to that.
Try, because a lot of people watching are wrestlers or folks that hope to be wrestlers one day. Try to kind of let me, get that feeling out and put it into words if you can.
It would be like if you got 4 of the numbers on the Powerball at the and you got where you got to pick 5 of them, you got 4 numbers without the Powerball, so you won some money, but you didn't win it all. But you won that money, and you know that you have that money coming to you. So I wouldn't say winning the whole lottery, but being right there to it, because the whole lottery would be when I take that heavyweight championship. So,
was there a moment after the match when you were either by yourself or you were away from the fans, you were back in the locker room, or was there a moment maybe even when you went home when you got to reflect on it and you were like, oh my God?
Actually, you took that away from me, because that's exactly how I was. Because like when you're actually doing your thing, your adrenaline is going so much that stuff doesn't all the time register. So once that adrenaline wears down, it's like, this is mine. Like, I did that. You go back and you watch it over and you watch it over again, and you think to yourself like, wow, I just did that for a 50 off the cage. Like, I did that moonsault off the cage. Like, that stuff will live with you forever. Because
and when you did that, you heard the applause, didn't you? The fans went crazy.
I heard the "This is awesome" chant.
Yep.
And like, so I mean,
no, it's "This is awesome."
You got it. So it's like I said, it's just something it's a milestone in my life for me, because, like, perhaps, I mean, a lot of people don't know this. About 2.5, 3 years ago, I was in a very bad head-on collision where I almost lost my life. So, I mean, I fractured both sides of my pelvis, both of my ankles, both of my shins, and both of my wrists. So my goal was, I used to be 250 plus pounds. Okay, so I'm 200 now. So my goal was to not only get back to where I was, but to exceed that mark. I mean, like, I've traveled to maybe 15, 20 states doing this in 8 years. I mean, so OVW is something that people want to come to, people thrive for it, people think about it, so for me to actually accomplish that goal is unbelievable. Like, I can't, that's the only word I have for it, is undeniably unbelievable.
Since you brought up the collision, was this a car crash?
Yeah,
was
head
it
on.
A head on?
Yep, head on.
Okay, so I would think, and I've never been in a serious car accident, I hope it stays that way, but I need to ask you, once you realized, okay, I'm going to be able to get through this, how did it affect you as an athlete? Did it change the way you have an outlook on life?
It changed everything, because I mean, we were going 60 and they were going 55 on impact. So to me, that showed me that I'm here for a reason. I'm just not here to be a statistic or just to be, I mean, just to make it in life. I'm here to accomplish a goal. I'm here for a reason. Like, I don't know if it's okay, but God put me here and let me stay here for a reason.
What's that reason? What do you think in your heart?
To be honest, it's a lot of people back home who has never even been this far away from home. So to me, it's
back home. We're talking about it in North Carolina.
Right, right. So like, to me, he was showing me that, I need to be a role model to, my little cousins, to my kids, to my family, to let them know that it doesn't matter what you've come from or what has happened to you in your life, there's always an upside. So for every action, there's a reaction. For every reaction, there's an action to occur before or after. So the reason I'm here, I believe, is to succeed, to show people that, you know, you can be successful, no matter if you come from a little rinky-tink town, Longwood, North Carolina, and where it's not even a stoplight in my town. It's 10 miles gas station that way, 10 miles gas station that way, Dollar General in between, you know, and look at me now. I'm in Louisville, Kentucky.
And it's no secret, you know, we've all had mistakes in the past. You've had your share of mistakes as well. Did that factor into what you're doing now, trying to atone for any mistakes? And if you want, you can share with the folks whatever you're comfortable with.
Oh yeah. Of course. I mean, live and learn. You know,
what kind of mistakes?
Like when I was a little bit more in depth backstory.
Right.
I lost my mom when I was 13. So
I'm sorry.
Oh, you know, that's something. You know, she's still looking over me now to this day. I love you, Mama. So
you got a good boy.
Thank you. So it's like, after my mom passed away, I was 13, you know, I sort of kind of went into a rebellion stage where, you know, she was my all, you know, so it was more like I didn't care what you had to say, what none of y'all had to say. That was my money maker. That's who supplied for me, took care of me. It was more like, you know, I had to do it myself. You know, I had a job, but, you know, I had a little sister that I took care of.
I can tell right now, you were angry.
Right, but as a 13-year-old, I didn't know how to deal with that.
Who would?
With the sadness, I turned my sadness into anger.
Yeah.
I
do that also.
Right.
I take my negative emotions and make an anger as opposed to
being
sorrow.
Sad or crying. Right.
Because you feel like that's more weakness.
Right. And we're supposed to be men, masculinity. You know. So.
Right.
So when I was 15 years old, I got into a little bit of trouble back home where, you know, of course, everybody smoked a little. So I got in trouble with that when I was 15 years old. So to me, that, like I said, back to what I said a few minutes ago, that lets you know that it doesn't matter what has happened to you in your past. You know what I mean? It's light at the end of that tunnel. The thing is, you have to choose which tunnel are you taking. Are you taking the one with a dead end? Or are you taking the one that got that little peak of light that you believe in?
Don't let me put words in your mouth, okay? Correct me. So you've got another chance, and you're going to make sure you not only take advantage of it, but you help others.
Exactly. And because like I said, nobody in my family really and truly has ever did anything, been on TV, you know, every Tuesday night, and, you know, get to learn from some of the best brains in the business, to get to meet people that I've met in this industry. So, you know, a lot of people, I can remember as a kid sitting back home watching Hacksaw Jim Duggan wrestle on TV, and actually I got to meet him in Wilmington, North Carolina. Had Jimmy Hart tell me, you know, who trained you, kid? Whoever it was, you're doing a good job.
Oh,
you know,
wow.
Stuff like that is, you know, is another reason that I do this. Because like I said, you never know who you can meet or what you can do in your life until you actually try. My coach used to tell me, AJ, you'll miss 100% of the shots that you never take.
Good point.
So, you take the
shot.
shot.
In other words, don't be afraid of the big moment.
Exactly.
Okay, so you weren't afraid and you won the Rush Division Championship. I got to ask you, what was it like when they said, son, it's time for you to lose it? And in this case, you lost it over to Corey Storm.
Well, I mean, it's a business. I mean, it happens.
No. I know you understand it.
Yeah.
How did it feel? Did it feel real? Like, crap, I was just getting used to this.
People say it's just a prop and this, that, and the third, but to me, it shows somebody believes in you. You know, so anybody in the world, I don't care who you are, it can be you, anybody. When you're told that, it's a little bit of, like, dang, what did I do? Like, am I not doing my job right? It would be like getting demoted from, you know, general manager down to peon. You're just a regular old worker now, you know. So it was a little bit of like, dang.
Here's how I would look at it. I'd say, fine, you want to take it away? Fine. I'm going to show you that you made the wrong mistake, that you made the wrong move, and I'm going to make you feel sorry that you made the wrong move, because I'm going to prove to you that I can get it back. I mean, that would be my mentality.
That's true. Oh, and that's the big mentality that I had, but still, it's always going to be a part of you in the back of your mind, like, did I not promote enough? Did I not do good enough? I mean, was I not over enough? You know, were the fans not behind me enough? Or did they hate me not enough? Or whatever the aspect may be, it's always that shadow of a doubt, is what they say, in your mind of why? You know, like, that's a big question I'll always ask us. Why? Why did you do this? Why did you do that? So, I mean, that's the question.
Interesting. All right, before I ask you some questions over here, you were talking about wrestling when you were young.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
Does that mean that you were a fan when you were little? When you were maybe half gravity rather than zero gravity?
It was a little bit negative.
Negative gravity.
There we go.
Who'd you grow up liking? Let me guess. Let me see. I don't know. You mentioned Hacksaw Duggan, so we're talking the WWE
/ WCW Wars.
Oh, okay. Because I was going to say Junkyard Dog.
Loved him. Actually, he's from North Carolina.
He is, absolutely.
Yep,
He's from Wadesboro.
Yep. I love him.
I know my stuff.
But actually, if I had to pick one of my favorite wrestlers,
right?
And it's only like, don't worry, I'm not gonna take up y'all's time. Just give me one more second. My favoriteest wrestler, I would have to say, I have two. One would be RVD.
RVD?
Rod Van Dam. I mean, whenever I was young, he was the one that was doing what I do.
Wow.
He was doing flipping and agile.
I did not see that coming.
Oh, and the second one, Jeff Hardy. And the story on this one is, give me 30 seconds, just 30 seconds. The story on this one is, as a semi-pro football player,
right,
I won tickets at halftime to go to a TNA show. At the time, he was doing the Charismatic Enigma
right,
with the whole new belt and everything. So I won tickets to go to a TNA show. And this is before I even knew anything about that there was such thing as a wrestling business. I just thought it was just those people doing it and nobody else in the world.
Right.
You know, so I met Jeff, and I was a big guy then. I was 250, worked out 2 times a day, doing my thing right. So this is before my wreck, of course. So he looks at me, he says, "Hey man, what do you do?" I was like, "I play semi-pro football." He was like, "Have you ever thought about wrestling?" I look at him and I say, "Jeff, I'm from North Carolina, from the beach, North Carolina. There's no wrestling go down at the beach." He looks at me and he said, "You're a lie. Go talk to that man right there, God bless the dead, Randall Brown. He was the one who made all the rings for WWE and High Spot, you know, so he was from my town." So you mean to tell me that the TNA 6-sided ring was innovated in my town and I never even knew about it? So it's like, wow. So
pretty cool.
He sent me there, and exactly 7 days from that Saturday, I was turning in my pads the following Saturday to become a wrestler. So Jeff Hardy is a big inspiration to me.
Have you ever thought, okay, you just said Jeff Hardy, big inspiration, RVD, a big inspiration. Have you ever thought what it would be like if a kid comes up to you and says, "You're an inspiration to me"?
I've had it before. And
no, you haven't.
I have.
No, you haven't.
No lie?
No lie.
All of my family members back home and all of my little cousins are like vaccinated on the fact that they have someone in their family who's not in jail, who's not dead. You know what I mean? So they look at me as that inspiration. Like, hey man, I want to be you when I grow up. And to me, like, look, I'm getting chills saying that. You know what I'm saying? Because to me, like, I can remember seeing people and saying that, but never having a chance to actually meet them. So for somebody to say that I'm their role model and I could actually give to them and shake their hand and hang out with them and take them out to eat, because you know, they're my little cousins and little family members and fans. So I mean, it's like, this is why I'm here.
AJ, that's awesome.
This is why I'm doing it. So, like,
all right, let's see if they're going to be proud of your wrestling knowledge. Okay,
let's see it. You know, he got to give me questions. You know this. I thought we even at OVW. He got to give me questions though.
You remember the Road Warriors?
Animal and Hawk.
Okay, so Hawk originally wrestled under another name when he was in the Northwest. Was he Crunch, Professor Smarty Pants, or Crusher Von Haig? I'm asking you a tough one. Crunch?
I'm gonna say the Crusher, Van Haig.
He's right. Ding, 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 ding.
0.
So he wrestled as Crusher Von Haig when he was in the Vancouver, Canada area. Mm-hmm. Of course, his real name, his birth name, Michael Hegstrand. So, all right, many wrestlers have outside jobs, right?
Okay.
What is announcer Jim Ross known for besides wrestling? Is he known for riding bulls, doing needlepoint, or making barbecue sauces?
Barbecue.
Give it up.
You can't get Jim Ross's barbecue.
That's what I'm talking about.
I love it. I love that barbecue.
You know, the Olympic Games includes both men's and women's wrestling. When was women's amateur wrestling introduced into the Olympic Games? 1980, 2004, or 2016?
2016. It's relatively new. Well, it's 2004.
Ding, ding, ding,
I
ding,
know
ding.
it hasn't been long, so I was thinking about
The
it.
women have 6 weight divisions, men have 21.
Woo!
Yeah, okay, let's see. Let's give you 1 or 2 more. You've heard of a guy named Al Snow?
Don't we all need a little head
There you
sometime?
go.
Come on now.
The head of OVW. You know, he once held the WWE Tag Team Title. Who was his championship partner? Was it Billy Gunn, Mick Foley, or The Rock? Oh, yeah. I got him thinking. Billy Gunn, Mick Foley,
I mean,
or The Rock?
we're talking about Mr. Snow here, so it would only make sense for it to be Mick Foley. Oh, because I mean, come on now, you got to put the two hard.
They held the title back in November of 1999. Very nicely done.
Okay.
Hey, listen, I got to thank you because you truly opened up, and I think you not only made an interesting conversation even, more incredible, but I think you might have touched some young lives out there.
Well, I hope so. I hope so because like I said, if I can make anybody look at me like I look to my role models, by all means, social media, follow me on Facebook.
Yeah.
Twitter.
So why don't you tell us, for folks that want to follow you on Facebook and social media, give us some addresses where we can follow you.
You can follow me on Facebook at AJ Daniels, parentheses, Zero Gravity, or you can follow me on Twitter under Gravity Zero. Okay, I had to get it correct. It's new. YouTube, you can just look me up as AJ Daniels. You can find
There you go.
numerous videos from me. So,
And don't forget to follow us here on Ring Generals. Follow us on Facebook and follow us on YouTube. This is the latest of our interviews, but we've got a lot more in our back pocket. Some more amazing interviews coming up. So, thank you very much. Continued success with everything. It's going to be very exciting to see you continue to climb higher and higher until the gravity just takes you into the stratosphere.
yeah, that's where I live at. So, like I said, the sky, usually people say the sky's the limit. For me, there is no sky. So, one quick thing I want to give a shout out to my sponsors, Boot and Heel. Look us up as well. Senior president here. So just look us up, bootandheel.com. Get all your merch, all your gear. We have over 90 wrestlers sponsored through us.
Okay.
Look us up. Just look us up.
I'd like to give a shout out to our sponsor, Ring Generals. Thank you. So, for the one and only AJ Daniels, I'm your friendly neighborhood Snyder man. We'll see you next time at the matches.